Good morning. All right, today is our well, poetry day, but it's not a poem, it's just a reading type. We're going to do a summary exercise. This won't take you very long. Now, this is going over Mr. Popper's Penguins, just a little section from that. Well, let me see. So what you're going to do, this is just a selection of fiction. It's a made-up story. I'm going to read it one time to you. Then what you have to do at the end is you've got to tell me in your own words what you remember without looking back, okay? The story is from Mr. Popper's Penguins by Richard and Florence Atwater. Mr. Popper is a poor house painter, and he's a huge fan of Admiral Drake, an Antarctic explorer. When Admiral Drake finds out how much Mr. Popper loves the Antarctic, he sends Mr. Popper a penguin. Then Mr. Popper gets a second penguin from an aquarium, and before long, 10 baby penguins hatch out of their eggs. But penguins eat a lot, so Mr. Popper turns the penguins into a traveling group of entertainers so that he can afford to feed them. Now, just a little FYI, when we get to the end, your job, and I'll check it tomorrow or whenever we have our lesson, your job is going to be to summarize it. No more than 3 sentences. It can be 1 sentence, it can be 2 or 3, but no more. Make sure your sentences are complete as well. And don't look back. So you have to remember it, okay? All right, here we go. Mr. Popper's Penguins. It was expensive to have huge cakes of ice brought up to their hotel rooms to cool the penguins. The bills in the fine restaurants where the Poppers often took their meals were often dreadfully high. Fortunately, however, the penguins' food had stopped being an expense to them. On the road, they had to give up having tank cars of live fish shipped to them because it was so hard to get deliveries on time. So they went back to feeding the birds on canned shrimps. This cost them absolutely nothing, for Mr. Popper had written a testimonial saying, "Popper's performing penguins thrive on Owen's oceanic shrimp." This statement, with a picture of the 12 penguins, was printed in all the leading magazines, and the Owens Oceanic Shrimp Company gave Mr. Popper an order that was good for free cans of shrimps at any grocery store anywhere in the country. Several other companies, such as the Great Western Spinach Growers Association and the Energetic Breakfast Oats Company, wanted him to recommend their product too, and offered him large sums of cash. The penguins simply refused to eat spinach or oats, and Mr. Popper was much too honest to say they would, even though he knew the money would come in handy. All right, there you go. So go ahead and give me a good summary of that, and I might give you a grade on this. So anyway, let me know if you need any help.